Palladium.
That's all I've been doing for the last 3 weeks.
Right, where do we begin?
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah. I love it.
The United States government released this coin about 3 weeks ago. Created I can't even tell you what they created. It's a monster. They didn't make enough coins. They made it, this is pure palladium. So to give you a background on the coin itself, and then we'll talk about how it has literally disrupted an entire billion-dollar industry. Okay. American numismatics, by the way, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The United States government last year released a palladium coin. They did it in mint state. They did it through a series of authorized purchasers. They released 15,000 coins. We were able to get a nice quantity. I sold several hundreds and hundreds of them here. I think we started at $29.99.95. It was palladium was less, and the mint state coins are far less because they were in essence bullion coins. Okay. I think now if I had them, I could bring them in at about $59.99.95 roughly, if I had any, which I don't. Wow. So this year, the United States Mint decides to follow up on that. So they're still going to make a coin out of pure palladium. By the way, people, if you're unfamiliar, there is gold in terms of rare metals, okay? In terms of intrinsic valuable metals. You have gold and you have platinum. Palladium is in the platinum family. It happens to be significantly rarer than platinum and really significantly rarer than gold. This coin right here is pure palladium. So the United States government decides to, instead of doing a mint state version, they decide to do it in high relief. Matter of fact, if I show it on the reverse, it's even better. You can see that eagle jumping off the coin, ready to take flight. In high relief and proof. Now, they did not learn any lessons from last year, and they only made 15,000 again. Now, last year's coins were released through authorized distributors. So each one of these guys got about 1,200 or 1,300 coins. And so, when, you know, I do billions of dollars worth of business. I call them, they say, we'll give you 200 coins, we'll give you 300 coins or 500 coins or whatever it is. Everybody got a nice quantity of coins, okay? Everybody got a nice quantity of coins, which we went through. This year, they didn't do that through the bullion distributors. They sold them directly to the United States public at about double the price, one per household. It's sold out in 30 seconds. And I know the official mint statistic is it's sold out in 5 minutes, but I can promise you, if you were not finishing your order information within 30 seconds, you weren't getting a coin. Wow. So they sold out all 15 of them in a minute, let's say. The price, the instant they sold out in 1 minute, the price basically went up $700 a coin. And so, you know, we bought a bunch of coins. This was the price that we determined that we were going to sell them at, $39.99.95. So we made a deal to get a bunch of coins. Even though it had gone up significantly, we jumped in, we bought our coins, we wanted to do that. And so this beautiful coin, Mercury dime, that's done in pure palladium instead of as a Mercury dime, and this unique reverse done by Adolf Weinman that you can see right here. That was saved for this coin's been in the U.S. archives for over 100 years. This beautiful representation with those angel wings that are on the American eagle that you're going to have right there was finally released to the general public, and the price has increased. Here's where it becomes an outlier. All of a sudden, because the price has increased so dramatically on this coin, the price has increased so dramatically. I had things that had never happened to me before in the coin business. I've been in the coin business my entire adult life. I've been doing business with more or less kind of the same people for 30 years, 35 years. People that have never done this before, and the stories of this are rampant in the numismatic industry. People were reneging on deals right and left. They were saying, we just simply will not provide the coins. I said, but we had a deal. Don't care. So you didn't get the coins. Oh, I have the coins. I'm just not going to sell them to you. I said, at the price we agreed on. Yeah. And they said, that's correct. I said, okay, but we had a deal. We basically, it's a handshake deal in the numismatic. And they go, whatever, it's worth 200, 300, 400, 500 more dollars than what it was, you know, 3 days ago. So unfortunately, we made commitments. This is the price we came out. I'm the only person in America that's selling this for the same price I was the day it came out, okay? Wow. I can tell you that right now. Okay. And so that's the price. This is my handshake price. This is the price that I agreed to sell it for. but I can only do that for the quantity that I originally offered. Just in case you're wondering, we had some NGC coins last week. If you remember, and I told you, hey, the NGCs I did, you know what I'm saying, I don't do as many of those coins. We sold about 60 or 70 of those coins at this same price, $39.99.95. I don't know if we can give them a preview. I'm going to give you an opportunity right after this coin of the Palladium coin in NGC.
Yeah.
I had to go into the open market to buy those, as I told you I would. Okay, so those of you that bought the NGCs last week at $39.99.95, nice job.
Yes.
They're coming up here in 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
$46.99, $46.99.95, and we will sell those.
Yeah.
That's the market right now. It went up $700.
In 1 week.
In 1 week, okay? So this is what's going to happen. So, like I said, whenever we get to the NGCs, so understand. So there's the NGC, and there we go in the early release, and it's $46.99.95. Here's what I can tell you. That's exactly what's going to happen to this coin once I run out of this quantity, okay? And we invested millions of dollars, okay? And I agreed, and if we can look at the whole coin, I want to look at the top too, because I want you to see that it's still going to be high relief. It's still PR70. It's still deep cameo. It's still 100% certified, okay? My price remains the same, but it is only for this quantity. I have it in the primetime show tonight. I had these last week and the week before in NGC at $39.99.95. You know, and we're calling around and they go, oh, you've got to be kidding me, right? No, that's not the price anymore. It's up $700.
Oh my God.
Okay, because I had to buy those on the market. I committed to these.
Yeah.
And while a bunch of people reneged on me, I did have a fair number of people that produced coins at what they said they were going to. Now we sell this coin, like I said, I mean, we sell, I paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars more per coin than what I anticipated. Yet I held my price. Once again, this was my handshake. This is the price I agreed to sell it for, $39.99.95. And as long as I have that original quantity, even though I paid hundreds of dollars, this was what I made, you know, this is what I agreed to sell it for. So let's go back to the coin itself again. So how many? The United States government made 15,000. Now, of those 15,000 coins, they are not all PR70 deep cameo. So understand, the coin itself, I saw some people selling uncertified versions of this coin at $39.99.95, okay?
Wow.
Uncertified versions. I've seen first day of issue coins already, like NGC and PCGS first days. 5,000, 7,000, I mean, for first day of issues, because it's first day of issue.
Even though it's uncertified?
Even though it's, no, those are certified first day of issue. The uncertified coins at this price. Understand, we're selling proof 70 perfect coins. So there's only 15,000 coins to start with. There's far fewer of them in absolutely perfect 70 condition that you're going to have. Because it does several things. And people say, well, why so much? That's a legitimate question. First of all, it's 1 ounce of pure palladium. If you buy jewelry or something like that, it is always platinum plated. Very little jewelry is pure platinum or even pure gold. It's usually 14 karat or 12 karat. I've seen 8 karat jewelry around now. That's almost plated, is what it comes down to. But it used to be 14 karat, it used to be 18 karat. Occasionally you'd see 22 karat gold, and you'd see plated or you know, whatever they call it, platinum, you know, but never pure. This is not plated in palladium, which by the way is 30 times rarer than gold. This is pure. This is 1 ounce, look right here, 1 ounce pure, 99.95% pure palladium.
I mean, you know that the minute you pick it up because it is the heaviest coin.
It is so heavy because these are these intrinsic precious metals that you're going to have. As a matter of fact, the 15,000 coins made by the United States government in this palladium represents 10% of all the palladium that will be mined on Earth for this year. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
For this year are in these coins.
Wow.
The United States government has said they will do 1 proof high relief palladium coin, and you're looking at it. Everybody knew that when it sold out in 1 minute from the United States government, and literally the price went up 50% in 10 minutes. Okay, the price has well more than doubled now. Has well more than, and I'm talking about wholesale. I'm talking about dealer to dealer to dealer before certification, before anything else. So the price on this has been going up, $50, $100 a day, $25 this day, whatever. And you see all of these things out there. We have held our price for the entire time since I've offered these to you. We debuted these 3 weeks ago, roughly.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. I basically, at the end of the day, I had 300, not counting in ANACS, I've got a total of about 300 coins that I offer, 250. I got about 100 left. So we've sold about 150 coins at this price. I will sell another 100 coins at this price. After that, I will have to reflect the current market price, which has gone up, and well, I paid hundreds more than what I anticipated. Yeah. If I go out in the marketplace now, I would pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than what I originally paid for the coin, and that would have to be reflected. Like I said, we're gonna show you at the end of this, presentation on this, I will give you an opportunity at the NGC, because some people just want the NGC coins.
Okay.
I sold out of those. As I told you last week, I said $39.99.95, that is the price. You better get them now, because they are going to go up, and that is exactly what's happened. Not only did they go up, I said $42.95, $43.99, whatever it was. Yeah. Turns out it's $46.99.95 is what they went up. Now we still have, and you know how many I have of those?
How many?
15.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so if I have to buy more of those, once I sell the 15, and I will, yeah, my next price is about $49.99.95.
Because it's not going to stop going up.
No, at this point, it's just insanity. Okay, out there, and that is exactly what's happening, because there's not enough coins, because there's literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that would like this coin. And I understand at $39.99.95, it's not for everybody, but there's so many people that want this coin out there. And the fact is there's just not that many coins.
Only 15,000 made.
Only 15,000 made total. Okay.
Wow.
And I mean, I know for a fact that we've accounted for the better part of 10% of all of those coins to be able to buy the coins and certify the coins and have all those coins and everything that I've done with these coins out there in the marketplace. And so there is a very limited amount of time and quantity that I can do this coin for $39.99.95. Another one of the things that makes this so phenomenally collectible is not only the rarity, the collectability, and all this other, the fact that I'm keeping my handshake price here, is the coin itself. So you have this ounce of pure palladium, like I said, rarer than platinum, rarer than gold, far rarer than gold, far rarer than platinum. 1 ounce pure palladium. But then they've done this design, which I absolutely love. You're going, well, that looks like the Mercury dime. Well, that's the exact design that they used, only they did it in about almost a silver dollar sized planchet, because palladium is so much heavier than silver. Mm-hmm. It's smaller, but weighs the same because it's denser. So now we have finally represented the Mercury dime in high relief. Look at that. In high relief, in pure palladium for the first time, and people love that. Because I mean, the Mercury dime was so great, but it was so tiny. So now you have this right here, okay? Now you have this right here. The reverse of the coin, though, is what really kind of fascinates me and draws me to the coin. The Mercury dime and the Walking Liberty half dollar, okay, was designed by Adolph Weinman. Adolph Weinman did the Walking Liberty half dollar. It's that famous reverse. The obverse we still have on the American Silver Eagle today. It was reprised in 1986 when we did the Silver Eagle. The reverse of the Walking Liberty half dollar is this majestic eagle with, like I said, these angel wings. Like I said, that's not really technically the wings of an eagle. If you look at kind of Victorian representations of an angel, they have these kind of wings on them. That looks very angelic. And so he did the Walking Liberty half dollar. But he did several designs, and they picked one. This is one of the ones they didn't originally pick. So it sat in the archives of the United States Mint for 100 years and came out on this coin. Look at that coin, where you see just that's where you can really see the high relief. So you've got this incredible design. You've got this fantastic and fabulous precious metal. You've got a coin that was underproduced by probably an order of magnitude. 150,000 coins probably wouldn't have been enough. You have a coin that has from a wholesale basis, and its original issue price gone up dramatically in price. Now look, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know if it's going to keep going up. I don't know if it's going to do like last year's coin, which ended up well more than doubling from my original issue price.
Wow.
So if that happened on this coin, I'd end up selling this coin for $8,000, which is not untoward. I mean, there are high relief gold coins that I started off at $2,000, $2,500 back when gold was less money, that today are $7,000 or $8,000 or $9,000 coins, okay? So this is my original issue price. This is my original issue quantity. I bought these. We invested literally millions of dollars. Even though we paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more than what I'd anticipated, we came out at my original price. Literally making less money on this coin than any $39, $99, $95 coin I've ever been able to sell here at HSN, because that was the price that we guaranteed. That was the price that we brought in. I suspect we have about 135 coins left, 130, 125, okay, lesser than that, of this coin. 120 coins is all that I have left in this. Now remember, I have a prime time presentation once, and I know that seems like a lot of coins, but folks, I've sold well more than that at this point. You add in the NGCs, we've sold 225 coins already in 2 airings. So this could be, today, could be the final airings that I have of this Palladium coin at $39.90. See, that's the key. At the $39.99, I have coins there in stock. By the way, if you have purchased coins from somebody you don't know, you may or may not get those coins. I had many people that I purchased coins from that canceled the orders. Okay, because I like to go out there and check things out. I had as much as 60% of my orders canceled, just canceled. Do you have, what, you not get the coins? Oh, we got the coins. We're just not gonna honor our commitment. Okay? So not only are we gonna sell you a coin that we're honoring our commitment on, we're gonna honor our commitment for a 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, that's an absolute guarantee. This is my original issue price. Excuse me, my original issue price, $39.99.95. Once I'm out of these, once again, I will have to reflect the new price in the marketplace, which is going to be on this coin, I'm assuming about $44.99.95.
Wow.
So what you're looking at is, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $500 savings, give or take, on this particular coin. Somewhere about a $500 savings, give or take, on this coin, if you buy it now before this quantity runs out. And remember, I have a huge primetime show tonight.
And remember, there's no limit to this. It's not like just one per household if you wanted to.
Like the government did.
That's right. And it's no limit until the last 120 of these that we have are gone. So if you are a collector, and this is something that you want to bring into your own personal collection, you really just want the one or need the one, then please do that. But if you are listening to Mike and you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm not limited until we run out. And if you did want a couple of them, these are going to be the ones that you buy and hold and see where the market goes. I think it would be a good option.
Well, and like I said, this has been a market disruptor. You occasionally get coins like this that are so popular and so desirable and have such a fantastic limited quantity, because by law they can never make another one.
That's right.
And of the 15,000 they made, which sold out literally from the mint in 1 minute, I think lesser actually. The government says 5 minutes. I think it's more like 30 seconds. When you have a coin like this, I've seen this progression before, folks. Last year's Palladium is that kind of progression. The gold Kennedy, I remember when it first came out, we were like $1,200 a bucks, and I think they're like, I don't know what they are now, 4,000 or 3,000, you know, the gold Kennedys that they did as a commemorative. And that's what happens when they bring back coins. And this is, in essence, bringing back an old coin by using this mercury dime design on this, but in pure 1 ounce of pure palladium. 1 ounce of pure palladium. The sold out limited edition, certified absolutely perfect, high relief, my original issue price. I don't know that anybody else is selling the palladium at the same price they were 3 weeks ago. And I can only do that for the ANACS, coins that I have got in stock. I told you that was the issue last week with the NGC coins.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a look at those here in about, about 30 seconds
about
or
30
so.
seconds.
We're going to give you a look at the NGC coins for just a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
So it is absolutely critical that you get these. We have less than 10 dozen coins now remaining.
That's all.
We have less than 10 dozen coins now remaining on this. I wished I had more. It's simply not the case. Now, just a couple of minutes right here.
Okay. So if you want the Annex, it's 642-568. We're holding that price at $39.95, $39.99.95. I don't